If you found $100 on the street, would you pick it up or just keep walking? Of course you'd take the money. So why do you keep picking winners and not betting on them? That's why I go to my bookie. It's fast, it's easy, and they pay when you win. Let's face it, where you're betting is just important as who you're betting on. I wouldn't be telling you guys to bet with them if they weren't the best. Do the smart thing. If you're going to bet this football season, bet with my bookie. Did you know you could bet on games after kickoff? So live betting? If by the second half it looks like your bet is going to lose, you can always just take the other side live. If you're the kind of guy that likes to bet a little and win a lot, try a parlay. If all your picks come through, you'll multiply your winnings. And no matter how you bet, the NFL season is the best time of the year. Join now and my bookie will double your first deposit. It's a very good promo. No other company is doing this that I've seen. Use promo code. What's the promo code? Sneak this?
Sneak this.
Totally forgot.
Fam.
Use promo code, and I believe it's all caps, Sneak Dis, SNEAKDISS, to activate the offer. That's promo code Sneak Dis. All one word, all caps, SNEAKDISS. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. And when you get paid, spend that money on sneakers.
Let's do this. All right, yo, Think This Podcast. George, Greg, back in the building. Episode 174, I believe.
Yep.
We got a special guest on the phone. We have the newly anointed sneaker designer, Kristen Black.
Definitely newly anointed.
I thought it was a pretty good intro. I thought I did pretty good with that. I like that. It's usually a little rocky on our intros, you know. Throw out some iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, stuff like that. But, you know, I felt that was pretty good. That flowed well, you know. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We all right. You know, I know it's a little later out there. We appreciate you getting on the phone with us, you know, have a talk with us about, you know, your popularity. I mean, you seem to be the it girl out here right now. You could feel good about it.
It's so funny that, like, you say that like that because, like, I'm so humble and I hate attention. Like, in real life, if you met me, like, I like to, like, be in the cut and not talk to people. But now, like, I feel like I have no choice. So it's kind of weird and awkward.
Oh, I don't like people either, and I'm on a podcast host. So, I mean, I was ready to fight everybody at the airport yesterday.
I just don't like fake people, like, and I'm not the person to, like, I just rather it be real and organic, even if it takes time, rather than be fake to everyone. So I try to just stay away and just, you know, but now I feel like now I'm out there and I have no choice but to be nice to people.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, yeah, but like you said, you guys have the show, The Breakdown, and you guys have been on YouTube for about 2 years, you said?
Yeah, I've been on that. I was on a show before that called United Souls. But that was like, I wouldn't even like consider that a show. But after that, I got on The Breakdown with Mike. And yeah, he's been doing it for 4 years, but I've been on it for 2.
So like, then you're used to like people telling you like, oh, we love the show is great, yada, yada, yada. So you're used to it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm used to people telling me that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know anything. And, you know, I get it the worst. Like, Tone and Mike Mike always knows everything, but Tone could not know something and sound like he doesn't know, and nobody will say nothing. But if I say something, it's right away. They go off. But I'm used to that now, so it's all good.
I mean, that's how it is with ours. I mean, I always tell people all the time about this show. Like, I'd rather people... I'm more comfortable with people, like, talking junk about us or to us than I am people, like, giving us a lot of compliments because... it just makes you feel a little weird. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, if somebody sent me a DM and said, yo, I hate you guys, you think you know everything, I'm cool with that. The people that send DMs sometimes like, fam, the episodes get me through everything. Like, I'm like, all right, man, thank you, you know. Feels a little weird, but you guys have been on there for a while with Mike and Tone, and, you know, you guys do a great show. I mean, it's a great show, and you could definitely tell when people care about their shows.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, we don't do it, like, we don't push the show, like, it's like, you know, everyone should watch the show. We don't shove it down people's throats. Like, we just do it for fun. Like, literally, we meet up every week, and it's, like, fun. We don't talk about whatever we're going to talk about on the show, and we just talk about whatever, and it's, like, literally 30 minutes, we laugh, and then we see each other next week. So it's really not even, like, a job thing.
Right.
It's cool that, like, people fuck with it, like, but it's kind of like the sort of thing that, like, either you fuck with it or you don't. Like, you come to us, you like it, you don't. Like, it's not like you got to watch our show. We're trying to make our show the best show. You know what I'm saying? It's, like, just kind of how it is, and that's why we like it. And,
right.
like, Mike is so consistent, like, we never miss a week. So that helps, too.
I know I do want to get Mike on the show as well one day. Seems like a good guy. Seems like he knows his stuff. Seems like he keeps to himself. I'll tell you one thing about social media. I never feel like I see him in any mess, you know, online with, you know, a lot of people. So, like, he seems like he's about his business.
Yeah, he's, like, the level-headed one. Like, he always is, like, the one that, like, if I'm like, oh, so-and-so said this about me and blah, 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 and he'll, like, try to, you know, look at it from the other way to make me see it differently. He always plays, like, devil's advocate. Right. So he's really good at that, and, like, he's definitely loves, and this is his passion, so, like, I'm sure he'd love to be on the show. Yeah, he's really, really nice guy. He helps people. You know, right. Sometimes he gets the shit end of the stick, but, you know, he's just real consistent, and things are popping off for him now, and I'm, like, so happy for him, so.
Oh, you
like
know.
A really good year for both of us.
And that's good, I know. We're going to get into that. Miss Kristen Black, so. You know, I really, and I told George before we did the show, I said, you know, I'm not going to ask Kristen the typical, you know, women questions. I feel like you've probably touched on that enough. I feel like a lot of women who are in the sneakers have touched on that enough. And I feel like guys continue to, like, ask it. And I feel like you kind of having the year you've had, you're in it. Like, you know, you're in it and you're opening that door for other opportunities, because we've said on the show, the best way for women to get that exposure and all that stuff is for women to start designing sneakers for men. So it was dope that your sneaker that you were able to create was for men as well.
Yeah, no, I was really worried about that too, because when I made the shoe, I was like, after I made it, like, I stared at it for a while. I kept going back, and I asked Mike, and I was like, do you think, is it too girly? Like, would you wear it? Because that was, like, a main thing for me. I was like, because the pink kind of made it, like, bright, but a little girly. So I was asking him, and he was like, no, it's dope. Like, you should just keep it the way it is. And I just left it. And, like, I'm not, like, I'm a woman in the sneaker community, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'm, like, an advocate for women and da-da-da, because, honestly, a lot of those girls are not really advocates for women. Right. So, like, for me, I do this. This is me. Like, I've been into shoes since I'm, like, 6, literally. And I've always been an outcast for it. And for years and years and years, like, girls would always have something to say. No, you know, dudes, you know, didn't understand either, like, what. But now, like, it's all coming to, like, a point where it makes sense. And, like, being me is, like, the it thing, which is weird. Right. So that's why I say it's, like, a weird thing, because I'm not used to it. I'm used to being like, oh, look at her, she's in sneakers. Like, why do you have to wear sneakers? Why do you dress like that? Why do you have to wear men's clothes? Why can't you wear something tight? Or whatever. Like, it's always been that way. So now it's like everybody's like, oh this, oh that, you know, and, like, you're doing it for women, but, like, nobody helped me get here. No woman helped me. All the women, I feel like, put me down and made me feel like I wasn't doing the right thing. So, I mean, that's how I feel about it. I definitely support all women, and I love to see women shine in a male-dominated thing, but I'm definitely not out here like, oh, yeah, I did this for the girls, because, I mean, I did it for me.
I like
and I
that.
don't want to sound, like, mean, or I'm just being honest, because I feel like a lot of girls out here pose and, like, pretend to be something that, you know, they're not. And I just think the best way to succeed is to be the best version of yourself. You know, and that's my advice to anybody.
This is what's funny. Like, the very last thing I have written down is something I wanted to ask you was, are you proud of yourself? And the reason I was going to ask that is because, like, me and George have been doing this podcast 3 years, whatever the case may be. And, like, I think that it's healthy and it's awesome when people are proud of themselves or what they do. and it might come off as conceited or arrogant to some, but like I am proud of like the show that me and George have built for ourselves and how great it is and how big it is and the attention that it gets. Like I'm proud that like sat down, thought of something, and actually moved forward with it. So for you to say that you did this for you and this was for you, and that's perfect. Like I love hearing that. Like because it's work. It's work that you put in, and you obviously deserve it for the work that you put into it.
Like I honestly started making bespokes like 6 years ago. Even before bespoke, I was making shoes at Nike Elizabeth Street ID before it was even Nike ID. Like I was doing this because I liked it for me. I wasn't like I spent $5,000 on bespokes because I liked them for me, and they got attention because they were dope. So that's really like how this all like transpired for me. Because at the end of the day, like the Cultivator program, they pick creatives. And my creativity was designing sneakers. I'm a dancer. You can't see my creativity through my Instagram and sneaker page. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they saw that in me. So, like, I feel like this was, like, a road that I've been on. It wasn't like I just was like, oh, they picked me and I designed the best shoe and my shoe got, like, it wasn't like that for me. I feel like everything that happened was meant to happen when it happened.
So let's go back a little bit then. So who was your influencers growing up?
Well, I mean, I had an older brother, but I loved Michael Jordan. So I loved the Knicks and Patrick Ewing and John Stark, but Michael Jordan always was, like, my favorite. And I was a tomboy, so I just started, like, really wearing Jordans. And then, like, I turned into, like, I always like to look fly. So I would wear New Balance and whatever I wanted to wear, but just match my outfit. Like, I always was into shoes and styling myself and looking dope in streetwear. So it was never like, it was just my influence, I feel like, was my older brother, really, I guess, but he's not really into this stuff. So basically just music videos. I used to watch music videos a lot, and I was into hip hop. I do hip hop, I dance hip hop, and I teach it. So I just was, Dougie Fresh, and like, I like Jay-Z, but like, to me, Jay-Z wasn't a style icon, Like, I feel like I took a little from everything.
I get that. I would definitely say that, like I said, you having your influence and like your sneaker and your story on Nike, talking about, being from Queens and you wanted the sneaker to represent yourself. So you said you got into sneakers like a high interest at a young age, right?
Yeah, no, it was very high interest because I have a sister who's 10 years older than me, and her boyfriend owned a sneaker store. So I used to like because my mom owns a dance studio, so I would take my little money and go to the sneaker store and buy myself shoes. And like he would get Jordans early and stuff, so I'd have them early. Like I was known for having Jordans early before social media because like I would go to like the Coliseum Mall or I would go to all these stores around like Brooklyn and I'd get cards. So every time I go to a store that I got Jordans from that were exclusive or something, I get the card. So when I knew shoes were coming out, I would just call a stack of cards, like call every store in my stack to see who had them early. And then I'd go get them and have them like 3 months early. That's before they were making fake ones, of course. Now I can't do that.
So this is from mom and pops you're talking about?
Yeah, like I used to go to like the Coliseum. They're still in there, the stores that were always there, but definitely would go to like there would like be like little Asian stores all on Fulton Street. There used to be a whole strip of all like sneaker stores. So I used to go to all the stores there, and I used to go to stores like in whatever store I could find in Long Island. It was really not in the city. There was a store in Queens called Secret Society that you had to know about, and there was like no storefront and no one knew about it. But when you went in there, they had like every exclusive SB. Like I had Tiffany Lowe's, and I didn't even know they were Tiffany Lowe's because I just was like, oh, I'm buying sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just like, yeah, like crazy shit. I look back and I'm like, wow, I had those, and now they're gone. Like, so yeah, like I was just always into like finding sneakers. Like I always liked having sneakers. Even in college, like I was known for the girl who had all the sneakers. Like girls they were still wearing Jumpmans. Like, I used to laugh at girls, like, when they started wearing them. I was like, oh, you cannot wear those. Like,
the New York lifestyle, upbringing, existence, or whatever is definitely different than all the other ones because we had plenty of mom and pop shoe stores in L.A. area where I grew up, but it wasn't the same feeling in terms of that you describe where you go from shop to shop to shop or whatever. for the most part, the stores that I went to had it, and they wouldn't sell it early. I mean, I guess if you're a family or something like that, you know what I mean, they would sell it early, but it just is a different, where you can go to, 10 shops on one block or whatever, and chase them down. It's a completely different feeling. You got to, in California, you had to go from city to city or at least places that are, multiple miles apart. So it's interesting to hear that the city life, and I mean, I don't know what you would call it, suburban Los Angeles or whatever, it's more city than living out in the sticks, but it ain't New York City.
No, yeah, I know. And I used to think like LA was like close to like New York, but I just went out there recently and I'm like, the vibe is totally different.
Yeah,
like the
absolutely.
vibe is just so different.
The
locals are super cool, but the people, celebrity, I can't deal with all that. I'm just like, I can't with the fake. Everybody's fake. So it's just like, the locals I met, I was like, I wanted to chill with them.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I don't know. The people I was with, I was just like, ugh.
I mean, it's the same kind of vibe depending where you go. Like, every place has locals, the bars, the restaurants, and whatnot. That's the same that I've realized from city to city. The people that chase the celebrity spots, that's definitely not my thing. My wife and I travel frequently, and whenever we go somewhere, we always ask anybody we run into at a store or a restaurant or whatever, what do you recommend for breakfast, or what do you recommend to go get a drink? And they start naming like the tourist places, and I'm like, nah, man, I want to know where the locals go. You know what I mean? I want to know where the low key spots are at.
Exactly. So like I always tell people, when you come to New York, call me first, because I'll put you on to like don't spend money staying in the tourist spots and being miserable, where you could stay like in Soho and like in BK and Long Island City, and it just be way more poppin' and the vibe totally different. Like I can't walk in Times Square. I won't go there because it's like the worst. Like everything is the worst, like in those areas. So you just really stay Soho. Like if you're in a sneaker community, you're in Soho chilling. Like everybody, I can walk like around the area and I see people I know. Everybody knows each other. Like it's definitely like a sneaker community is real small here, but big.
Right. And I mean, that's what
weird.
That's what Skate was telling us a couple weeks ago, is like everyone in LA is, they run into each other all the time, whether it be an event or at a store or whatever, and they all know each other. And, especially with a city as big as Los Angeles in terms of like square mileage, it's definitely interesting to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was like back in the day. Like it was definitely easier to get sneakers here than anywhere else. That's for sure. Like,
you guys
100%.
definitely get the most product.
Even now.
So going back to what you had said, I think, I mean, follow a lot of people on social media, but I would have to say, you brought up the bespoke situation. Like your bespoke collection is phenomenal. Now, us, like George said, we're from LA. We live in Arizona. We don't have a lot of stuff like that, and we don't get to see. So we're usually a little tight, the fact that, these big city biases, New York gets everything. New York gets all the sneaker passes, gets everything. So how does it come about, like the bespoke program? Like, how does that work?
Okay, so it used to be, so they started the ID on Elizabeth Street, it was ID, but it was kind of bespoke. It was better than ID, but not as good as bespoke.
Okay.
So at that time, like you had to get an invitation to go. And then like if you won a contest or Nike was having an event, or like you can get invited to go. But once they moved it to Nike, like they opened Nike Labs, they took Nike ID, made that separate, and bespoke, you still had to know somebody to get in there. So at that time they opened one in Paris and there was one in Japan, but now everything is closed but the one in New York. The only one open now is the one here. But basically, you get an appointment if they want to give you an appointment, which is really hard. You can't like call there, you can't email them. It's super annoying to get an appointment. So you get an appointment, and then you have like 2 hours or 3 hours they give you, and you build the shoe from scratch. But they don't help you. So don't go there expecting them to be like, okay, if you want to do, they don't give you ideas. Like if you want to do 2 colors on your shoe, they're going to say, okay. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to say, well, maybe we should help you do a better shoe.
Right.
Like, so you have to like take initiative. Like my first time, I definitely went easy. By the 5th time, I'm in there 6 hours. They're only supposed to give me 2 hours, but I'm like, no, I spent $5,000 here. I'm gonna stay as long as I want, and I'm gonna do something different to my shoe. Like so you have to like press them to do new things. Like they won't tell you like, oh hey, if you want, you could do, swooshless. They won't tell you that. They want you to go in there and you to build the shoe from scratch. So you open up drawers and drawers and drawers and drawers of materials.
Right.
And you just basically you look at materials and decide what you want to do. So like what I usually do is I go in there, open the drawers. I spend like maybe 30 minutes picking out colors and materials that I think go together. Even if it's like a stack of 40 materials that I know I'm not going to do all those colors, but I'll move that over to the table and then I'll sit and go through it better and like start to really place the ideas on the shoe, what I want to do. But I don't really go in there with like an idea like, hey, I want to do a Game of Thrones shoe. Like, I don't do that. Like, that to me is like not, I'll fuck up the shoe if I do that. I just got to do like what I feel like doing. So, yeah, so everyone's different, but it's definitely the first time it's overwhelming. And if you guys want an appointment, I definitely could help you guys get one. But you have to come here for it.
My wife would murder me if I spent that much money on one pair of shoes.
You know what's funny? And see, George says that. Well, George says that, but I actually.
Well, wait, hold on. Before you say that, okay. So, were you designing Air Force Ones, or what were your choices?
The choices were Air Force One, Air Max One, and I forget what the other one is because it's so whack. Okay. It was like something whack.
Now, see,
But I just.
George says that about our wives, but I don't believe it. I think, me and George have been in the sneakers for so long. I actually think our wives would be perfectly fine with us making a one-of-a-kind shoe for ourselves.
They'd
want us to sell some other stuff. But I think our wives would be perfectly fine with us creating something that's just ours, like, which I think is dope. So, like, does the price depend on what you choose on it, or does it matter? Like, if you make one color, it's still one price, or is it like you choose 50 colors?
It's $1,000.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
$1,000.
Oh, see, yeah, you'd be ridiculous if you go in there and choose like one color or two color.
It used to be $850, right? They've raised the price gradually over the years, I assume. Wasn't it somewhere in the $800 range?
It's been $1,000 for the last 6 years.
Okay.
So I've been paying $1,000. So it was $850 though. I think the original was $850.
Okay, yeah.
But now that you pay $1,000 with no tax. I think that's like they just rounded it up and you don't pay tax. I don't know, but it's $1,000.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you get your own box. You get 2 like wood shoe horns. The box has your name on it, your size. You get the dust bags for the shoes. And you get to wait a whole 14 weeks. Kill yourself.
And see see, you know what I had read. I think I read something, or I don't know what it was, but somebody was talking about, how you spend that money and like it's such a long wait. But what's funny is that we buy so many sneakers that I would have to be disciplined enough to say, all right, during that 14 weeks of me waiting, I can't buy anything because the $1,000 would be $1,000. I would have probably bought 10 pairs between that period of time anyways. So it's like, all right, if I set my mind to it, I'm making a bespoke. This is one of a kind. This is for me. This is something I love. I just can't buy anything for that block because it's almost like pre-ordering. Like, man, you pay $1,000 and you got to wait 14 weeks. That's brutal.
Yeah, it used to be 6 to 8 weeks, but now they're 14 weeks. But I'm telling you, it's torture, and I have no patience. But when the shoe comes, like those are you tell me to make a list, and on my list is my bespokes because I love them and I wear them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I love to hear that.
It's worth it. I mean, for me, it's worth it. It definitely got me to where I'm at. So I love.
That's what I like to hear.
And as soon as I get my check, I'm doing another bespoke.
I told George, I said, because I don't want, because you and we don't know each other. We've never talked before. We talked through DM that one little time, that one time, and that's it. But, obviously follow each other on social media. And, when you follow somebody on social media, you feel like you know them for so long. But I said, I wanted you to make a top 10 favorite list, tell us it, because I feel like that's how you can like really understand a sneakerhead. Like you can ask them like, when'd you get in the sneakers? You can ask them those general questions all the time. How do you feel about Jordan? You can ask them that stuff, but at the point to where you're at right now, you kind of want to know where they're going. You saying that you got into Jordans, it's kind of crazy because like, I don't think I've ever seen you post a picture wearing Jordans. Like I can't think.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I used to tell my mother, like, I'm going to die and bury me in my Jordans and I'm always going to be in my Jordans. And now, like, I evolved, though. I definitely still have it. If I showed you my Jordan collection, I mean, I got the Jordan Olympic 5s, the all white ones. Like, I got so much stuff that, like, I have 11s from '99. You could still wear them. Like,
Nice.
I have so much vintage. I have like Fresh Prince Bel Airs and 2 pairs DS. Like, I have a lot of stuff, but Jordans aren't as comfortable. And now that I'm older, I like to be comfortable.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean,
like,
you have to be comfortable
The
in New York
the
City.
young kids don't understand that yet. They will though.
yeah, Jordan 1s though, I can live in those. I mean, I can live in Jordan 1s, but that's Jordan 1s. The rest of them, like, I feel like sometimes 11s look a little young, like, on me. Like, I look a little young, and I don't know. I still love them. I won't sell them.
Yeah, but you know,
But I
with
just feel like I
you,
love.
but you gotta, you know, you being a dancer and a choreographer, you gotta take care of your feet. So you can't be out here stomping around in 5s all day.
No way, exactly. And I also like, I like all different kind of shoes. Like, I have a stick Asics. My Asics collection is retarded. Like, it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like, I have so many Asics, like, and Grail Asics and like New Balance, and I have like a lot of Yeezys, but I stopped because I'm like over it now. But like, I just am all over the place, like, with my sneaker collection.
Well, no, there are like a few people. So Mike, you, Ryan Swanger, there's a few people that I have a real appreciation for their collection. Like, there's a lot of stuff that Mike wears, and I've seen you wear some of the Asics as well, that like models that like I wouldn't even give a second look to. And this is when I go back to like the discussion way back when we first started the podcast. We would always talk about influencers and things like that. There are actual people who are real influencers on social media and don't even know it. Mike, you, Swanger, there are specific sneakers that you guys wear that a sneakerhead wouldn't even give a second glance to. But there are certain people that can wear it and make you say, you know what? I might look for a pair of those. And I don't remember the model, but it was a model that you were wearing. One of the pictures, it was white and like a little greenish teal Asics. It's not like a Gel I3, Gel I5, nothing like that. It's like a running model, I think. And I seen Mike wearing them too. And I was like, those are dope. But I never would have thought about it. And if it wasn't for those pictures, I wouldn't even take a second guess. I would have never thought about it.
Yeah, it's on feet always sell me too. Sometimes you can't tell until it's on feet. Like, he'll be like, you like a shoe? And I'm like, I can't tell until I see it on somebody's foot. Like, sometimes I just like used to see it on foot. And like Asics, their shoes are real comfortable. And like, that whole like year that Ronnie's like 5th year or 10th, whatever his year that he did, like 25 years of Asics, they dropped so many dope Asics. Fire. And then they like fell off. Like, they fell off totally. Like, I feel like now, like, we have this discussion on the show all the time if the runner game is back, and like they'll say it is, but I'm like, I don't feel like it is, but I still always have like a nice appreciation for Asics. And Ryan Swanger is the best because he wears whatever he wants
all the time.
I love that about him.
That's the homie. And see, that's me and George, like, heavy in the Asics and New Balance in a certain period of time. And I'm starting to feel like it's slowly coming back, but I feel like people jumped ship like way too hard. Like, they didn't just like slow down on it. They just completely stopped buying Asics and stuff like that. They were like, I'm done with this. That's it. There's a difference between like, yeah, I'm gonna buy every one, to like, oh, I'm not buying any of them now. And I hear people say like, oh, they suck now. I'm like, no. Gel I5s, Gel I3, stuff like they can never suck. They just got to get back to that point of giving them a shot again. Like, you have to give them a shot.
Yeah, they're not coming out with any like good colorways. Like, like Ronnie did. These colorways are like, bland right now.
They're
they're
bland.
not like the old Ronnie.
So let's talk about it. So you from Queens, right?
Wait, hold on. Are you gonna start talking about
I was gonna talk about the program.
the
and
shoe? Okay, hold on. Before we get to that, are you a one in, one out, or do you just add them all up as far as pairs?
What do you mean?
Like, you get a new one, you sell
I don't
one?
sell anything.
Okay, so
No,
you
I
just
don't
have
sell
collected
anything.
everything from whenever you decided to start doing that. You just have all these pairs that you posted over the years or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, unless they don't fit or they're beat up, or I have everything. I don't sell my shoes unless they don't fit or like I don't like them. But
Right.
I have like a lot of DS shit that just sits in my closet. So yeah, I definitely have like 500 pairs.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, I mean, what makes it even crazier is it's city living. So it's not like whatever you pay for mortgage or rent, you could get like a double sized place here or whatever.
So I have I have a what you call it?
Oh,
one of those
storage unit?
storages.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
That seems like a that's definitely city. Like I know a lot of people back east, they got storage units for stuff like that.
I mean,
I got
go ahead.
95s from like 99 that are like crazy. I forget what I have because it's in storage. Like I forget.
See, that's the biggest problem for me is now, granted, my Instagram is like literally just traveling stuff. Like I don't post shoes. I send it to Greg to post on the podcast Instagram. So I don't really, to me personally, I don't really care about posting like on foot stuff. So that's probably why for me, it's different. Like I am actively trying to get rid of stuff to where I only have like maybe 60 pairs that you wear frequently, because half the time I find something, I'm like, man, I haven't worn this in probably 3-4 years.
You trying to get to 60 pairs is crazy because you have to be at least around 300. Okay.
Yes, I understand it's not easy. That's not the point.
That's definitely. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it either because
I
I
get
don't.
what you're saying though.
But wait, couldn't do it because you don't want to do the effort, or couldn't do it because you actively love all the shoes you have?
Because I'm the type of person that like I'll pull out a Supreme piece from 7 years ago and be like, and I'll get a new pair of shoes that like the match is perfect, and I'll be like, holy shit, this was made for this, and then people be like, oh, your fit is so fire. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
I love that.
Sometimes I just like to save shit.
No, I love hearing that. Like I do, because there are times like I try to keep all the sneakers, especially the sneakers that like I put like was effort to get, you know, like it just wasn't easy just to get your hands on it. Like some of those I try now, you know, it's different times now, you know, and it's really hard to get a sneaker. And I know you have plenty of pairs of these, but it's so hard to get a sneaker that costs around 160, 180 bucks. And you see it selling for about 800. It's really hard not to sell it. Like it's crazy.
Not for me. I don't know. I can't sell nothing. I know it's worth money. I definitely don't want to sell it either. I'm like, no.
I love that. So, like I said, going back, so you're from Queens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Born and raised.
Born and raised. I have one of my best friends ever is from Queens. And she's just one of like my favorite people ever. She's actually helped me. Her and her mom has actually helped me get shoes from New York because, you know, I would win pairs out there and I have to send them to 21 Mercer or somewhere to get them for me. They'd actually do that for me. So let's talk about
You're a real one.
Oh no, her mom is standing in line with young cats talking about it, trying to get me LeBron corks and stuff like that. She went to Supreme to try to get me the Supreme Dunk. Like she's one of the best people I know.
Real.
She's a real one. So let's talk about the Cultivator program and all that. So you are on 4 shoes, right?
Yeah, this is my 4th shoe.
Okay. So how does the program work? How did you get involved in it?
Okay, so the first time I just applied because I saw people like posting it around like, oh, you should enter this creative program, and I saw sneaker design and I was like, hell yeah. But like literally all I had to do was write like a paragraph, and I am not a good writer. So I just wrote like some bullshit. But I think like you put your Instagram name, so they probably picked me off of that. They'll get out my Instagram page because they pick creatives. So if you have a good story or they think your story is authentic, they'll pick you. So I basically got picked. And the first time Nike wasn't as active as they were this time. So the first time, literally, I basically got to do Nike ID, but I got to have a shoe come out. So, like, the shoe was, I feel like you could probably make them on Nike ID, not exactly the same, but pretty close. And I did 3 shoes, and I wound up being, like, tops. I had all 3 shoes, like, in the top 20 selling shoes, and I, like, was the top seller and whatever. So they just, like, kept in contact with me. I didn't ask to be in it again. They just hit me up and were like, listen, would you be interested in doing it again? And I was like, oh, of course. And they were like, this time you would be featured creator, which would mean that the featured creator thing was that my shoe would be displayed in Fifth Avenue, Nike, and that you could buy my shoe there. And then I had like the little Nike commercial ad that they made. So I had like a Nike photo shoot, and I have like, I didn't post like the full commercial because I feel like I was a cornball.
So you can't do that. No, Kristen, you can't do that because not everybody has that opportunity. I know look, we talk about what's corny all the time. But when it's something like that, and especially hearing about somebody who loves their sneakers, values their sneakers as much as you do, you gotta post that corny. You gotta be corny because you gotta.
I know everybody's telling me that. Like, you didn't post it yet. I'm waiting. You better post it today. I'm like, yeah, I'll post it. So basically, I did the little. When I went to the photo shoot, you know, they were like, "Oh, we love your shoe," and I was like looking at them like, "Yeah, you just probably tell everybody that."
Right.
Like, you're telling all the people that. Like, I don't take things like, I'm not like, oh my God, they love my shoe, you know? So I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, and then the dude was like, nah, for real. Like, we really like your shoe. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I left, and I had no idea, like, what was going to transpire after that. So they just told me my campaign wasn't supposed to start. So they dropped the shoes on the 19th, right? Mm-hmm. My campaign was going to start on the 22nd, the week after the shoe dropped. So I was once they started playing tennis, like that whole thing happened, we were supposed to drop our shoes,
right? But like
our campaign, like commercial or whatever. So my shoe was released, but on day 2 of the release, Serena Williams is wearing my shoe, and somebody you don't even know how I found out. Like, I was bugging out. I was at work, and somebody sent me a message. It was like, "Is she wearing your shoe? LOL." And I'm like, in my head, my first thought was Nike copied me.
Right.
Like, there's no way that she's wearing my shoe. Like, there's absolutely no. And then I zoomed in and I was like, no way. Like, I started flipping out, running around, jumping up and down. Like, you know, it was just a crazy moment. They had no idea she'd have my shoe either. So I feel like Nike seeded people with shoes, like, and then she wound up like picking my shoe, or whoever picked my shoe. She wore it 2 days in a row. So it was crazy.
So how did the process
so
go?
Basically,
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, I was going to tell you, sorry, I skipped the whole thing because Serena gets me so excited. Yeah, so they tell you, so you get picked, then they tell you, they give you access to the studio. They tell you what shoe you're going to do. They give you access to, like, a studio. You have, like, a week to make the shoe and do, like, your whole bio and your story, and you have to have pictures. It's a lot of work, but I already had the bio and stuff from the last time, so I didn't have to do that. So I just really had to get my campaign together, which I wanted to stick to Queens. So everything that I did was Queens. So right. The photo shoots and everything we did was Queens. And then, they released, they didn't tell you, they don't really tell you much. They're like, okay, it's release day, you know, promote your shoe now. You can show your shoe. And then once I showed my shoe, then, you know, I sold like 100 shoes in 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes that the shoe dropped.
Right.
Which they were like impressed because they're like, who are you to drop? I'm like, who am I? I'm just a girl that likes sneakers, so I'm really nobody. So they were like impressed with that. But I wasn't the first to sell out because once they told me if I sold out that Nike wouldn't run my campaign, I held back because like if they didn't run I just wanted the traction. It wasn't really about the number of sneakers I could sell.
Right.
It was more about me gaining the traction to get other opportunities like this. So I just like held off. I told nobody to post it. You know, and then once Jadakiss posted it, then I sold out in like 5 minutes. And then, yeah, that was the end of that. So, yeah, it was a crazy, like, you know, Naomi Osaka was wearing my shoe too. And then today I saw some girl who's hosting a new show on ESPN Plus. It's called Sneaker Center, and she's wearing my shoe in an episode that she's shooting around with Spencer from the Brooklyn Nets. So and she's wearing my shoes. So I was like, all right, cool. So I feel like this is just the beginning for me because a lot of things have it just keeps going. It just doesn't stop.
I know that has to be just a phenomenal feeling. Like, I mean, I've seen, you know, you were posting like crazy with the Serena and stuff like that. And, you know, it's one thing to see, you know, just somebody of like, so like Serena is at legend goddess stature. Like, she's not just anybody. We're talking about
Michael Jordan of women.
Yeah, she's arguably top 3 athletes all time, maybe top 2. You know, you can argue number 1 if you really wanted to argue, have a conversation about it. Like, me and my wife watch the tennis, and I'm like, you can sit here and say Serena Williams is the greatest athlete of all time, and shouldn't another person even argue with you? And the fact that she's out there wearing your shoe, and it was a Nike campaign thing that she was at, right?
Yeah, it was a Nike. It was I guess it was an I can't even say this word. I can't say the word. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Exhibition. I don't know. Yes. I don't know why I can't say that word. So she was at that, and they had a photo shoot for Vogue, and she wore the shoes to the photo shoot for Vogue too, and like in a picture with like all the tennis players. So I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, it's Serena Williams. I'm sure she had to wear something Nike. But I'm sure they showed her everything new that they had coming out. Do you know what I'm saying? So
right.
She probably picked my shoes. So I'm thinking she picked my shoes. They're thinking she picked my shoes. But I'll never really fully know how that happened.
Right.
Like, I caught her on the court. Like, I know of the stylist who was there, but I'm not going to go out of my way to contact her. If I see her, I'll ask her. But I'm not going to be like, oh, hey, you know, how did Serena get in my shoes? Like, I'm just grateful. And then, like, for her to wear it the next day to play with Venus was like solidified. She didn't just wear them because she had to. She liked them. You know what I'm saying? So that's solidified. All the haters saying, "Oh, that's not really Serena," when they first saw her in them because her hair was blowing, and like a lot of people saying like, "Oh, she wore them because she had to," or because Nike doesn't have anything blue coming out and your shoe has blue in it. Like, I heard so much shit. And then the next day, when she wore all black on my shoes again, it was just like, everyone can be quiet now. Sit down.
Wait. People were actually saying that to you? Or saying stuff like that?
Yeah, I was hearing it.
Oh, my gosh.
There are a lot of fake congratulations, too. You know, like, people want to see you do good. They're happy that I'm making a shoe. But once this happened, it kind of, like, separated me. And so now people treat me differently, which I'm not different. No. I don't get it. But
see, I understand that because, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. So when we had talked about it, when we had Soul Searching Podcast, they came here and we had mentioned it on the show, we had talked about the shoe because when I seen you posting it and, you know, people posting it, and I saw it, and then I went to the website and saw like all the other, you know, creators and what they made, I personally was like, well, I would only buy yours, and I don't even know you, but you're the only one I follow on social media, so that would be my only reason. And I was like, well, I was going back and forth on it. And then there was another girl who I had like somehow came across her page, and she was saying that hers was sold out or something like that. I don't know. Hers was like a green 270 maybe or something.
Yeah, white and green.
She was saying that. So then I was like, well, let me go back to see if hers is still on here. And I looked and it still has sizes. So then I kept going back and forth with it. And I was like, I don't want to like, I was like, that's dope. I don't know her like that and all that. But I was like, I want it and then I don't want it. But I was like, my only reason is because I just follow her online. And I was going to ask you, how different are people that you thought were really riding for you are treating you? Like, can you feel it?
Yeah, I definitely feel it. Like, honestly, I never even owned a 270 React. So when my sneaker friends tell me I don't own that shoe and I don't want it, that doesn't offend me. Like, I don't get offended. I'll sell out on my own. I don't need you to buy my shoe.
Of course
no offense to anybody. That's how I feel. Like, I don't need fake support. I don't need people to break down merch to be like, oh, I bought your shirt. Like, don't buy it. If you don't want to wear it, you don't fuck with it, don't buy it. That's how I feel. So I'm very vocal like that with my friends. They'll be like, oh, I was going to get your shoe, but I'm like, listen, you don't have to give me any explanation. I'm cool. I sold out anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need you to buy the shoe. So, like, that's how I feel. But they start to be like, oh, now I'm getting a lot of your Hollywood now. Oh, what are you doing now? Like, because I have a lot of things lined up, and, like, I'm getting flown to Toronto. So people are like, oh, what? Like, you know, they start to say things. Say, I'm going to be like you when I grow up. Like, it's just annoying. Like, you know, a lot of people like, oh, tell me that I've been goated. I definitely am a Cultivator legend. That's how I feel. Like, every Cultivator after me is going to want to aspire to get that opportunity.
Good for
that
you.
Was, like, the biggest opportunity.
Good.
So taking one step back, who started Cultivator and what was their initial goals? Their initial thing to be involved in sneakers did they want it to be Nike only? Did they want what was the... Give us that background.
Well, they're independent, like a third party. They like to tell people stories through shoes. So they've always been a part of Nike. So it's always Nike.
Oh,
but
okay.
They were like, you know, Nike wanted to reinvent their Nike by You program this year at this time. So they used us as like, you know, a platform to push it out more. So basically, Nike by You was just trying to reinvent Nike by You. I don't know necessarily if Cultivator will come back and be able to do all the different stuff we were allowed to do, because that's what depends on what Nike wants to do. It's really all up to Nike how they want to like operate it, but they're like a little division in Nike that now has grown, and they're super amazing. And like the guys, they're not really into shoes. They work for Nike, but they're not like sneakerheads. Like I feel like I was the only one like that was a sneakerhead that was like picked. Like they didn't pick any other people.
Oh,
A lot
shit,
of people
really?
were stylists, you know, filmmakers. Like their teaser videos were crazy, but I felt like, you know, for me, I was like, I have to knock the shoe out the park because my story is just going to be simple and easy. So, and I feel like all these people had like paragraphs and paragraphs, and I'm like, oh my God, mine's just like, hey, this is me. I'm loud, but I'm cool. This is my shoe. Like,
Well, see,
like,
that
that was basically what I wrote.
and that makes it even better because, like you said, you being an actual official sneakerhead, it has to be good. And
Exactly. I had a lot of pressure too because they brought me back. So I'm like, now I really got to knock it out the park because they brought me back, and now everybody's from New York, so everybody's going to be hustling and on the grind. So I knew my shoe. My goal with the shoe was I need maximum pop. I need a base that's going to keep everything together. Like I wanted a black midsole right off the top. There's no Nike React black midsole. I Googled it. I did research before, and I was like, I just want maximum pop on each thing, and I want to use a lot of colors. I want to be true to myself, so it's kind of like a bespoke that I did. So that's what I did. I literally the day before I was like, this shit is ugly. I'm gonna scrap it. I was like so like done. I didn't know like how to feel, and then Mike was like, you're not fucking scrapping it. Just submit it, and that's it. And then I just submitted it, and I never thought like it would go this far. Like I can't believe the love that this shoe's still getting. It's just unbelievable. It's just crazy, and Cultivator, and Nike doesn't own that swoosh. Like, I don't think Nike owns it. I think Cultivator owns it. I don't think they'll be getting another wavy swoosh like that. I don't really know, but that's what I heard.
That was going to be one of my questions. So I was curious if one of the designers came up with that or if they just gave that to you as one of the options off top.
No, that was an option. Because some of the designers might have made it look like they designed it, but no, it was definitely an option.
The wavy swoosh is like what literally was one of the only reasons I wanted to buy any of those shoes, because what a great idea. Like whoever came up with that idea should be given a promotion or something, because Nike should be doing more of that. You know what I mean? The wavy swoosh is fire.
I agree.
And I'm glad you picked it.
Right now they're doing it. I don't really know, because Nike's not very communicative with any of they're very, you know, that's the way they are. So,
well, yeah, with any human at all on the planet.
Know.
So now
they're not.
I know you said, well, however much you can give us. So when I was talking to you through DMs, you had said that I don't know if this that's led to a Nike contract relationship. I
mean, when I did the featured creator, they made you sign a contract. So I can't really speak about anything right now.
Oh, okay.
I do have 2 months of that I have to you know, an NDA, whatever. So I can't really speak about all that aspect of it.
Then I won't even touch on that then. So then, when you designed your shoe, were you able to see it in hand first before it became for sale, or start promoting it? Like, did they make you a version of it first, then keep going, or was?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I ordered early pairs, so I had 5 early pairs, and I literally went and shot and did all my promotion before the shoe dropped. So I had them on in the street, and people were stopping me everywhere. Oh my God, those are so nice. And I was like, wow, this shoe might actually be a success. Because those people are stopping me. So yeah, it was I had the shoes and I gave them to, you know, my family members who had them early. So I did a few photo shoots in Nike, in the store where my shoe was dropped with my friends. And I wanted to take pictures with more than one person with the shoe on.
Right.
So people could see that guys and girls wear them.
So how long did the process take? The full process to now we can buy them?
So they told me I was doing it in June. From July 1st to July 13th, it designed. Then you wait for them to approve it, and then in August you wait. Like there was like a little bit of time that you just like waited around, and then August they started sending out emails like what you should be doing for pre-promotion. Like so basically the time off was you to get everything ready. So when it was time to do like all that preheat dropping and all that stuff, you had it all ready. So in the meantime, you did all the preparing. Then for August 1st, you were allowed to start saying like, I got something coming up. I'm doing something, you'll see soon. Like, but everyone knew that I was doing a shoe because I've done it before. So it wasn't a secret. Like once I said I was doing something, everyone's like, "Oh, when's your shoe dropping?" So it was like a known thing.
Right.
So then August 19th it dropped. Then it was on sale for 2 weeks, and now it's over. And now we had like meeting at Nike and a party. They gave us presents, and they showed us we reached 57 million people. Like it was pretty crazy the impact that we had. So yeah, they were really sweet and nice. And now it's over, and now we just wait.
So then the 270 and the 200 were the only options for this drop, right?
No, 55.
Oh, 50, okay. Oh, 55 React was one too. That's right. And I think the 270 one, like I haven't seen a bad model of the 270. I look at the 270 as like a really good model. We talk about it on the show all the time. And the colorways and everything is on my hand. The shoe is dope itself. It's one of those shoes where it comes down to just colorway attraction, which is what, can draw somebody into that shoe. Like, I feel like the structure of the shoe can't really be messed up. You can have like little faults here and there, but the colorways, like just this week, they've dropped probably like 5 or 6 different colorways, based off the themes of music, which I think are all fire. So you choosing the 270 was a really good choice, like especially considering it was a new model.
Yeah, that's why I wanted it, because I knew I was the paneling on here. I like the 200 too, but I just knew that there was more paneling on the 270 React because there was just so many color blocking options that I could do. Like at first I was super oh my God, should I do this? Should I do that? I have 50 different scraps, samples on my phone that I didn't actually make because I was going crazy because they gave so many options. It really was what the best experience I had
right.
with Cultivator, and I'm so thankful to them because they got me to where I am, and they thanked me too because they were you're into sneakers and you helped us get here. They feel like I've helped them grow, so and I will always do anything they ever ask of me because they're just so they really, I couldn't have asked for anything better to happen to me. Everything happened. I sold out. Serena Williams wore it. My shoe's out there all over the place. It's getting sold for $500 on StockX. It's a great feeling to say I accomplished. I knew I deserved respect in the community, but being a female, guys right away think you don't know anything. They don't know the level of that I'm into this, or how
right.
deep I'm into this. So right away it's oh, she's a girl. She wears tight pants. She's they don't really think that I actually know shit. So
right.
now it's I have to get my respect. You can't say I didn't do my thing. You can say the shoe's ugly. You can say whatever you want, but I did my thing. I did it. And nobody can take that away from me ever. So that I'm so glad that finally, even the resellers in my name, because I'm from New York and I know all the resellers, they're all yo, the respect level that I'm getting now is through the roof. And I love it. I can't even front and say oh, But no, I definitely
I like
love
that.
it.
You soak that up, man. You talk your stuff, man. I like that. When people put in work and they do it and they passionate about it and they love it. And it's good to know because I'll tell you this. One thing that the podcast, our show, other show, we always talk about was how hard it seems to be to get that recognition from your peers, from other brands and things like that. The fact that it's good to hear that Nike and other brands are starting to recognize and see that there's other things out there and other people out there who can create. I want to continue to see Kristen Black colorways put on the sneakers. There are unique.
Thank you. Yeah, I keep hearing that. People are saying that to me, and I'm just I'm just putting everything out in the universe, that hopefully it works out, what I want. My dream would be to do a Jordan. I would love, because I started with Jordans, and that would be my ultimate dream. But I know I could sell shoes. I sold 400 pairs on my own. So I know I could sell shoes, and you could only buy those shoes through my link. So you couldn't go on Nike.com and find my shoe. Like, so basically everyone who got my shoe had to get it through me. So, like, I definitely know that, like, I have the capability to sell shoes if I had more visibility. But, like, at the end of the day, it's like, who, you know, do they want to work with? Like, I'm different from everyone else. Like, I'm not a stylist. Like, all these girls they put on are, like, stylists or this or athletes. Like, I'm just a girl who is a dancer who is passionate about sneakers. Like,
what was the influence? I know you said you wanted the all black midsole, but what was the influence behind the shoe? Did you have one specifically, or does it look similar to a bespoke you've made before, or?
It was basically just I wanted to do my personality, which is like I'm really, really chill. Like, but I'm like if you get me going, I'm loud and like explosive. Like I wanted my shoe to be like so. My picture was like a firework. It was like fireworks over Queens. That was like my picture that had when you went up to my page. It was like and the colors and the fireworks were the colors in the shoe and the sky is black. So I basically did all colors that I like and that I would rock. I basically made a bespoke 270. That's what my goal was. It doesn't look like any of my bespokes. I wanted, because Nike does the same colorways over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
And so I was like, I need to do something that to get noticed, I needed to do something that nobody's done or nobody's going to think to do. Like I had to do something that is totally original and authentic. So, like, I put that pressure on myself, and, like, I really didn't think I was going to execute it, but, like, I did. So, like, like I said, I'm super proud of myself. Like, I can't believe it. Like, it's just been a great ride. I've cried so much. Like Mike was like, are those happy tears? Because you're hysterical.
So,
it's just the whole, like, to get to this level and just know that, like, I did it all on my own, and I didn't do anything or sell myself short or not be myself to get here, like that's the most rewarding feeling. Like I don't have kids, so this is probably one of the top 2 things that ever happened to me.
That's
like,
dope.
Yeah, for real.
So do you have you built any relationship with any of the other creators that came out during this drop at all?
Did you know any of them beforehand?
I knew one, and the other people I didn't know. But I knew one, Zane Styles. I know him from he's like in the sneaker community as well.
Okay.
And me and him were cool from the beginning. We talked the whole way through it. Like we were just talking about it and like. But once my shoe, I feel like once Serena wore my shoe, the other creators, like a few of them, didn't like me. Like they were like, "How'd she get your shoe?" Like that kind of attitude.
Right.
Like, but what really, I had nothing to do with it. I was just clueless as they were. Like I had no idea what was going on. So, I mean, I felt a little bit like, you know, a few of them, because they put us in a group chat.
Right.
And a few of them saw what was going on in the group chat and, like, side messaged me. Like, don't let these people, you know, steal your shine. Like, you did it. You did this. Like, be proud. Serena Williams. Like, a lot of people were going out their way to, you know, make sure that I was good. But I was good anyways. Because I'm used to that. I'm used to people, like... They put us in a chat together. They should have waited till it was over so we could have bonded on the experience.
Right.
Rather than people started dropping their shoes in the chat. And you're not going to get the response you want because they're dropping a shoe too. And it's kind of like, you know, they want to be noticed too. It's not necessarily anything against you personally, but they want to be the best one. They want to be the standout, just like I wanted to be. So I understand, but I wasn't dropping my shoe in the chat. Because I wasn't like I didn't need that. They're not going to say to me, "Oh, your shoe is the dopest one." So why? There's no point for me to do it.
I love
just kept
that.
It to myself.
Because let me tell you something. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, if I was one of them and I seen Serena wearing someone else's shoe, it would hurt. It would hurt. All right.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I would have died.
It's just natural. It's just a natural thing because no matter what the program, everybody could be buddy and whatever, but it's a natural unspoken competition. You know, it's like you're not doing anything malicious to each other, but you do want to be the best. It's just a natural thing. You want to be the flyest, you want to be the coolest, and especially considering the fact, like, I mean, for you seem very competitive. I would definitely want to be the best out of a group of people who aren't sneakerheads. Like, I think I've seen like some graffiti artists in there and stylists and things like that. But being a sneakerhead, you have to represent for that culture. So you know, when all of them first saw Serena walking across that court wearing them sneakers, you know their heart felt weird. All right.
Was it all New Yorkers?
Yeah. Yes, this time they picked all New York.
Do you know where they're going next?
Everybody. Wait, what did you say? Sorry.
I'm sorry. Do you know where they're going next? Like, how does it work? Are they going anywhere else?
The next one they said they're doing at all over.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to pick people from all over. So you don't have, like, if you enter, like, you know, write a nice paragraph, link your Instagram. But, like, what they're looking for is artistic. Like, they want to see your Instagram. They want to see creativity. Like, so when you go to my Instagram, it's all sneaker pictures, but they're pretty creative. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you just have, like, they're looking for, like, a story. Like, if you have a good story, if you have a good cause, if you have something different, that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for sneakerheads. Like, they told me that. They're like, we're not looking for people who are just into sneakers. Like, they want to tell a story. They want to get their message out. And by letting them do a sneaker, it's like getting their message out. You see what I'm saying?
Right. That's good. That's dope. I like that.
They're definitely, like, you know, a lot of people had, some people had amazing causes and stories. I was like, damn, my shit sucks. But, like, you know, like, that's how I felt. But, like, you know, and I just know, like, a lot of them, you know, probably don't like me or whatever. But, like, as a returning one, I was returning. I couldn't let these people, newbies, come in and make me look like, you know, they brought me back. I had to do something crazy. That's how I felt. Like, I was like, I have to, like, totally, like, do something amazing. Otherwise, I'm going to fall behind. And I knew I was with talented people because the dude that I know, he's an artist. He's super talented, and he's in the culture. So I was like, oh, shit, you know, I have competition. And he has his own following and people behind him. So, like, you know, I knew I had to do something that was, like, you know, true to me and different and authentic. And I got really lucky.
Yeah, I mean, if you really look at it, not all, a lot of the collabs Nike has done in their existence have been with artists. So not sneaker people. So it definitely makes sense that they would try to, you know, Futura, Stash, you go down the list. Those are all artists. Now, they may be into shoes as well, but I don't know at the time when they asked those guys to come in and do those designs if they could have given you a lesson on sneaker history. You know what I mean? A lot of people like wearing shoes, but they may not know what they're wearing. So it doesn't surprise me at all that Nike wanted to bring artists in, which makes it even better that someone who represents the sneaker culture is one who had one of the best shoes.
Yeah, like, that's why, and the sneaker community, like, really showed out for me. Like, going to SneakerCon, like, all those people make fun of me, and they just be like, oh, why you go to that? But, like, all those people that I met, they all showed out and bought my shoe, and they're all posting on feed.
Right.
Because, you know what I'm saying? So I, like, had a lot of people, like, I'm sure there's other sellers sold, you know, as many shoes as me, people who sold out, but they don't have, like, I have a lot of people posting on feeds and stuff that, you know, they don't necessarily have because the people that bought their shoes aren't in the sneaker community like that.
Right.
So, like, you know, I like, Mach bought my shoe. Like, that's my boy. People showed out for me that, like, I didn't even expect or, like, count on for it. Like, so I'm definitely grateful. Like, sneaker community, they're all saying, they're like, we're so happy it's you. Like, because you really are, like, you know, a sneaker person. Like, you're not just somebody who's out here pretending. Like, it's really what you love. And people notice that, and that's, like, the great part of it is, like, when your passion really truly, like, people see it and, like, understand it after, like, all this time of not being, like, my mom didn't even know how to react because she always, you know, made fun of me and my sneaker collection. So it's like, you know, it's crazy to see, like, how everybody's changing, like, you know, their perception of me when this whole time I've just been the same.
See, and that's just a natural thing. Like, you know, it's sticking with something, and, you know, we always try to encourage people, like, you know, you start something, you do something, stick with it, man. Like, it may not pan out to anything, but, like, what you've done and how you've been involved with sneakers for so long, it panned out. And it may have, like, you know, every sneakerhead gets in that moment to where, like, you start buying so many sneakers and you're in it for so long, you start thinking, like, what am I doing with myself? Like, what am I doing here? You know, that's why I needed personally, you know, like, the podcast. Like, I needed additional purpose for my addiction. Like, I needed that for that. It gets me excited about it. It keeps me excited about it. And it's something that I love. So you having that passion for so long and now it's turning into something and opening doors for you is exactly what it's about. If you're buying sneakers online, there's more than a coin flip's chance that the shoe you're looking at is fake. How can you be sure it's real? GOAT.com is the safest way to buy and sell authentic sneakers online. They're the largest marketplace in the world for authentic Yeezys, Jordans, and over 600,000 sneaker listings. I know I've said this many times, but it has to be well over 1 million pair of sneakers they have now. They've made the whole process frictionless and trustworthy. They do this by only accepting sellers with the best reputation and by verifying all sneakers to ensure the authenticity for buyers. Every detail is inspected, from the stitching and the color to the size and the weight. GOAT certifies that every pair of sneakers on their site matches exact factory specifications. With over 500,000 sneakers on the platform and 10 million users, you won't find better prices for verified 100% authentic sneakers anywhere else. Find the perfect 100% authentic sneaker at goat.com/sneakdiss. That's goat.com/sneakdiss. Plus, you'll be supporting our show. I say this all the time. One day we'll have merch, which I might have something, George. What might be fire. Somebody said we got to do hats, which makes sense because they saw my head the other time and they were like, and I was like, you know what? And people were like making fun of my head. And I said, fam, I gave George my hat. And I'm like, I can't even use that excuse. Anyways.
And then I got lice.
Yeah, all right. But you've got to go right now before the sneakers you want are gone. When you go to goat.com/sneakdiss, that's goat.com/sneakdiss, GOAT.com/SNEAKDIS. Support the show, 100% authentic sneakers.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Like, because you don't really know me, and like, I appreciate that you like understand where I'm coming from and how I feel, and not. I'm like, because sometimes I may come off like arrogant, but I'm really not. Sometimes when you know when you know a lot about something,
right? And
like people ask you the same questions, you kind of get like, oh, like it's kind of like that sort of thing. But people take it like, oh, you think you know everything, you're arrogant. But I'm really not. Like, I'm really a nice person. I just pick and choose who I let in and who I want to, if I could be 100% real with you, then I'll fuck with you. If I can't, then we can't be friends. That's just what it is. Like, I want to be real 24/7.
You know what's funny is, like, I've only went on IG. I went live. I've gone live one time ever on IG. And you know what was so weird was, like, people got in there and was like, oh, Greg is feeling himself now. And I was like, you see, this is why I don't do things like that. It's just people naturally start doing that. I know people looking at you and thinking, oh, look at her. She thinks she tight now. Oh, look at her. She thinks she better than everybody. Man, like, if everybody focused on being an actual creator, then they would create. And it's perfectly fine to be just a supporter. Like, being a supporter, like, being negative towards, like, people's, like, creativity, it's poison. Like, it poisons you and it poisons your own creativity if you're starting something. Anybody who has that same aspiration to be involved in design, they're going to be poisoning themselves. Like, it's just a natural poison that's going to happen, and they're never going to move forward. So, you just keep ignoring it and stuff like that. So,
I just try to ignore everyone.
Oh, that is what it is. So, I want to ask you, did you make your list?
Yes, I did. I mean, I have it in my notes.
Now your list. I'm gonna tell you this. I expect from me and George to already know what number one is.
Yeah, you better.
Okay, I was gonna say. I said to myself, I said,
wait, hold on. How many pairs did you get, or how many do you have now?
On my list, he told me 10.
No, of your own shoe.
Oh, I have 3 pairs.
Okay,
I wish I had like 5.
Okay, that's
I have 3. Yeah.
That's where I'm going with that, because I've seen some people say they wish they bought more of their own shoe.
Yeah, because some people hit me up like, oh, my shoe doesn't fit. And everybody that tells me that, I tell them I'll buy the shoe, no matter what size it is, because I don't want them going back to Nike.
That's dope.
I don't want Nike going to get it back, and what are they going to do with it? I'd rather give it to somebody for retail and have them wear it and be happy.
Right.
So I was like, every shoe that I've been coming across, I've been buying. So I found one that's a half a size smaller, but I could definitely take the insole out if need be. So I have 4 maybe.
I honestly think if I was given that opportunity, I don't think I'd ever wear another shoe again. I think I would only wear mine. I would still buy other ones.
That's how I feel.
I would buy other ones, but I feel like I have to wear mine. Like, it's a special feeling, man. It's a special feeling, and it's dope because everybody in the sneakers at some point drew sneakers in school and wanted to design their own, and to have the opportunity is dope. So like I said, I asked Miss Kristen Black to make a top 10 list of her favorite sneakers. Now, typically I put pictures on the screen of people's sneakers, all right? But if you got a lot of custom Kristen bespokes in this, I'm going to have to go scour your Instagram and take some of that stuff off of there to add them to the screen.
I only put one.
Oh, word? Okay. So
yeah, because I didn't want to do that. With a 10 list, it would have been the whole top 5.
So everybody who's listening to the podcast, everybody who's watching on YouTube, when we put the episode up, this is Kristen Black's top 10 favorite sneakers to her. Podcast is on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all that. Kristen.
Wait.
Okay.
Before you start the 10, what is your favorite sneaker model of all time?
Oh, I know.
And
this.
it doesn't have to be obviously the React 270.
I already know what it is. I can tell her what it is.
Oh, Air Max 1.
Air Max 1.
Okay.
I can tell her.
All right, just making sure. All right.
I can tell. I don't even know why I can tell. I don't even know her.
Says, as a female, it just does like for like the girl's legs and the butt. It's perfect. It just gives a little extra height. No, I mean, it just works. Like in a respectful way, like you just, as a woman, and I'm short. People always tell me I look like I'm 5'5" when they meet me. They're like, I didn't know you were that short. You look taller on IG. And I'm like, well, it's because I have good posture and Air Max 1s on. And I like the So yeah, they definitely help.
So,
right, so do I have to go in order here?
Let's do. Well, did you put them in number order?
How about this? Do your top 3 at least in order. But if you want to do the other ones in random order because you can't decide what they are, that's fine.
All right, so I'm gonna go with 10. My Air Jordan Bel Air 5s.
Okay.
I just love those because Fresh Prince was like the best and the colorway for me. And I put Air Jordan 11 because that was my favorite shoe growing up, like in my first shoe that really like sparked my love. Because you said this is of all time, so these aren't my favorite shoes of now, but this is of all time.
Right.
So then I put. I'm going to have to go with Sacai, the ones that just came out, the white and gray ones, because Sacai is a new model. And Nike hasn't really put out any new models that I've, fell in love with like I have with this one. So I'm going to say Sacai.
So, hold on. George is very disrespectful to Sacai's. Sacai's?
No, the Blazers. Yeah, I don't like the Blazers.
You're disrespectful to the runner, too.
The Waffle Runner is fine.
The Waffle Runner is so great. Like...
I think I saw someone in Portland with the blue toe box one or whatever on. I think that might be the best one. I originally said that the other colorway that came out in that first pack was the better one.
What, the green and yellow?
I think the blue one's better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have the blue one too. I like the blue
you
one.
Have everything.
You have everything.
We already know.
All right, settle down.
Speaking of which, we didn't ask you. Which we didn't ask you earlier, and we ask everyone who's on here who's we'll say shoe celebrity or sneaker celebrity. Do you get seated shoes? Do you have to try on Sneakers app? Do you still put in footwork to get shoes you want?
Depends on the shoe and the situation. Sometimes I don't have to. Sometimes I do. So
okay.
I mean, the resellers know me because I used to camp at Supreme before Supreme was even popular. So I've put in my work. I feel like over the years. So yeah, I definitely hustle. It's not like I'm just like, oh yeah, I want the shoe and it magically appears. I have to, put in the work.
Right on.
I get them.
Very diplomatic answer.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't ruin anything.
Oh no! We don't need you to name sources. We'll never do that to people. But still, diplomatic
people
answer.
Look out for me, though. People do look out for me. People definitely look out for me when they can. But if they can't, and I want something, I'll pay if I have to.
And you talking?
I'll pay. I've paid.
Sorry, go ahead.
I paid, $1,500 for OG Prestos in a size 4 because they only dropped into Japan. So, I'll pay what I have to pay. I got connects in Japan that I could hit up for, ASICs and stuff that sends me stuff, and the Bape connects that work at Bape in Japan. I definitely have connects, but like I said, this is years of building relationships. This is years of, putting in that work to get here. People think, oh, you just got connects because you're Kristen and people get you stuff. How do you think I got those connects?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I did a lot of work to get him. So people just automatically think they see this happening, but they don't see what went into all this.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can't. I mean, unless somebody went back into all your social media for 20 years or whatever before it even existed. So, and you're talking about people that don't necessarily work at stores too, right? You're just talking about like people might just look out for you as like a friend or a fan or whatever else, right?
Yes. Oh, definitely. They'll help online. They'll hit or they'll try or. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Definitely. Anybody, I'll ask for help, but I really don't like to ask for help because then people expect it back.
Yeah, no one.
People don't do things just to help.
You right.
Right. No, I mean, I shouldn't say no one does. We don't like asking for that kind of stuff either. We try to put like under the radar feelers out with people. We did that.
No, I get you. I get it.
We kind of like did like a little sly hint with Dion from Concepts, and we kind of did like a sly hint from the owner of Riff, Jeff. I don't think either one of them caught on to what we were saying.
You see, here's the thing, though. I think if we asked them, they would. I honestly do. I think especially Jeff from Riff, I think Dion would too. Because there are people that ask.
I don't ask for anything.
There are people that ask Dion.
Oh my God, people ask every week.
And see, Dion,
he's got that. When you're in that position, you have people way more important than us asking.
People have asked Dion based off of him coming on our show,
Sure.
and got stuff. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it bothered me a little bit because I was like, yo, you got another pair? Like I felt a certain way, but I didn't ask. So, what's your next model? So you said white Sakai.
Okay, then hold on. I go back to my notes. Okay, so now I had Bodega 577 Hypercat.
Ooh,
They're
Hypercats.
New Balance. They're beige, like a grayish beige with purple and pink.
Love them.
Those are like all-time favorite New Balance.
Love Hypercats.
Also, Serena 97. I mean, I had to put Serena on here because, those are my favorite 97s. The colorway is definitely one of my favorite off-white.
And you have that, right? I thought I saw on your page. Okay.
She has everything.
All right. Well, you know what I mean.
She's Kristen Black. Don't be disrespectful. It's Kristen Black. She designs sneakers
certain
now.
of these things. All right. I'm just saying, certain of these things might not necessarily be easy to get. Yes, it helps when you have lots of connections.
She's a cultivator.
I'm just saying.
Cut it out. Don't be disrespectful.
Yeah. All right.
I was cultivated. I cultivated those.
She cultivated. What else you got?
Well, then you could cultivate some this way.
What else you got?
Next, I got Union Ones. I put both colors. I have both pairs, and I love them both equally. They're my favorite Jordan 1s of all time. So, Union Ones.
This is a luxury list, man.
Yeah, now look who's salty.
Wait.
This list is like literally everything I want. What you got?
Next, we got, I'm going to put Ronnie Feig Super Green. Super Green Asics. They're gray with green.
Those are fire.
Those are one of my favorites. I had 3 pairs of them. It was crazy, and I got 3 pairs. So.
3 pairs.
Then I have the next one is Ronnie Feig Salmon Toes, the OG pair.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Asics.
You got those too?
Yeah.
Huh, I don't know why I asked. That. Go ahead.
And then for my top 2, my Presto Off-White, the OG. Those are my favorite Prestos ever.
I love them.
Like, he killed the Presto, so he brought it back for me for sure. And then my number 2 shoes, my Bespoke Air Max 1. It's the 4th one I did. It's not the one without the swooshes. It's the one with the green and the purple. So it's the pair before. And inside it says keep the same energy, like on the insoles. So that's my favorite Bespoke.
Dope.
And then my number 1 shoe, obviously, is Infamous by me.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant to ask you. Did you, because I went on, when you said it was up for sale on the resale markets, we won't name them, but when you said I went on there, so did you name it that, or did that come from the streets?
Oh, no, I named it that.
You gave it that name, okay.
That's why it's so crazy. It's like because the shoe was named Infamous and it really became infamous. Like the whole situation just worked out perfectly. So they were like, they said to name your shoe, and I was like, I'm gonna name my shoe Infamous because it's Queens and Mobb Deep. Like, I just want to keep it like, and people always tell me I'm famous and I'm infamous. So I was like, it fits perfectly. So when they told me that I couldn't use infamous because they were like, it's copywritten and you're featured. So they're like, you know, you have to follow more guidelines. They're like, change the name. So I was like, I'm not changing the name. I just put numbers in it. So I was like, I'm just going to put numbers in it. And it's going to be infamous. And like, you know, because Kristen Black has the 1 in it and the 23. So I was like, I could use the numbers and the 0 from the camp out and I'm on the breakdown. So it just made sense to just do that. And it just worked out perfectly. I just couldn't have gone any better. Like, yeah, so I named it Infamous. And yeah, so
I had said, you know, the best way to figure out a sneakerhead is off their top 10, you know, all time or favorite sneaker list. Your list is very luxe. You're very luxurious. Like both Union ones. Good God. Like I think the only pair I have Sakai's and I have Presto OG Off-Whites. Them the only two off this list. This list is nice. I like this.
Look, I'm a New Yorker too. I have a lot of easier access to things. Like, you know, the Off-White Empty Gallery is in New York. I won a raffle there for Vapor. Like I won raffles at Nike Lab and like their sneakers and stuff. And like I have all these other options that you don't have.
Right.
Like you'll get maybe one store that has Off-White in your whole state, and we'll get like 7.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So like,
settle down, Kristen.
Golly, it's definitely like an easier situation, like for me to get shoes. And you know, and my list is going to be luxury because I feel like I've had bread ones 15 times already. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in this so long that I've had Royal ones 3 times. Like those don't excite me anymore. I feel like I'm used to that. I've seen it. Unions give me a feeling of nostalgia. The yellowing bottom.
Right. They
change the vibe. Like it's just a different vibe, and that's why I love it so much, and it's my favorite.
See, Kristen, that's what I always, and that's what I say, and it sounds a little crazy, but I always have said that I feel like you've had to have owned the OG colorways before you could really lose your mind over something like a Union. Like, I feel like you can't ride super hard for an Off-White Chicago 1, but you ain't never even had your hands on a bread one yet. You've never got your hands on a Chicago 1, but you out here riding crazy for Off-White 1. See, to hear you say that you've been in it for so long because you've had these colorways over and over that you could appreciate something as far out there as a Union and all that, I like that. That's dope. Like,
oh, thank you.
That's dope.
Just being honest, like that's why for me, like it brought back like a nostalgia. Like I got excited over the box it came in, like the paper, like the things that like it made me feel, and like when I wear it, like the way it fits, the leather they use, or the plastic they use, and like just like you know, the stitching and like. You know, it just gives me. I feel a certain way in them, so that's why I like them. You know, like, and then I see all these other hype beasts buying them and wearing them, and it, you know, it bothers me. But I don't do it for that. I just do it for me, and I like them, so I don't give a fuck.
Right on. I appreciate that. Well, I think that might be it. I enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's other stuff you want to talk about.
Did good. No, you did phenomenal. See, like I said, we don't even know you, but I feel like we know each other now. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. You guys can hit me up whenever you want.
Oh, no problem. And then, you know, when I'm in New York and I ask you where do the locals hang out, you're gonna let me know where the locals hang out.
Oh, I got you. I'm gonna take you around. You just let me know. I definitely will. I'll take your wife. I'll take both your wives and I'll talk to them about how you guys need that as like a birthday anniversary gift. Like that'd be like your dream come true.
Oh my goodness.
And then, you know, get their wheels turning.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one. We're gonna use that. That's anniversary gift. We're gonna use that. We appreciate you coming on our show.
They want diamond upgrades, you know.
So, okay. Never mind then. You know, never mind then.
I'm just kidding.
Look, we appreciate. We really appreciate you coming on the show. There's still a couple things that we ain't talked about, but you're gonna come on again. We had a good conversation.
Of course.
Well, yeah. We'll have you on the show once you've exploded through this layer that you're in right now to the next layer of Nike.
Well, she probably won't respond to us then. You know, so.
No, I'm not like that. I remember where I came from.
I don't know when we see you on a billboard in Times Square, the place you said you won't walk. I guarantee you'll walk down Times Square. You see your billboard down there. It's coming. It's gonna come for you. It's a good energy from
hope
you,
so.
which is why I said this is a good conversation. It was conversation. We don't know each other, but we know each other now. You could take me around New York, and we could get some of that awful New York pizza, and then we can go on. So, New York pizza's awful, George. Stop it.
You've been going to the wrong spots.
New York pizza is.
You've been to the wrong place.
New-
You've been to the wrong place.
New York
You definitely
pizza-
did not go to the right place.
New York
you've been to the
pizza
wrong
is
place.
overrated. All right. The best thing about
Dude, you haven't.
the best thing
You have
about
to
New
go to,
York
like,
pizza.
Joe's.
The best thing about New York pizza is you can get it from sun up to sundown. That's it.
Listen to the person who lives there.
All right, look. I've been to New York enough times. I've tasted quite a bit of pizza. All right. Now
I'm gonna make a vlog when you come and vlog you eating the best pizza in the world.
you're gonna have to. And I'm gonna have to feel that feeling. But we appreciate Kristen Black coming on. Watch the breakdown every Thursday on YouTube. It's a great show. It's a great guest. Mike is good. Tone is good. Love the show. Watch, check her out on Instagram. What is it? K1? Oh, KB.
KB1 ACK 23.
She's up and
So
coming.
it's K Black with the one.
She's
Yeah.
up and coming. You better follow her now. You better start DMing her now because she's checking them now. She's not checking them later. All right. So we appreciate that. We appreciate everything you're doing. You know, hopefully you get the opportunity to give somebody else a chance to do something, you know, that you know personally and, you know, hook up, you know, your friends. And it's good to have that feeling and your mom and your family get to see you shine, you know, right now.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys for having me on. I had a good time.
Good. I'm glad you
Absolutely.
I'll
did.
definitely talk soon.
All right. Sounds good. Get some sleep.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Later.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me say, even though we may not have been talking to a Nike employee or whatever, I'm still going to tell this story. I didn't want to do it when she was on the show because it's just out of respect. And I will say, before I start the story, shout out to Shu Hefner for making the Nike company store happen. He's the one who got me the pass. Because I saw people asking on Instagram how I got it, whatever, so I got to shout him out. We talked about him on the show when Skate was here, and maybe before that. Like I said, we went to high school together. He was a couple classes below me.
Oh, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just say that?
We,
I was like, who are you talking about? Why didn't you just say that? Man, go ahead.
I mean, it seems like most people know who Shu Hefner is on Instagram.
You know I know nothing about stuff like that. I'm asking you, who the heck is Shu? I'm asking you through text, and you like, bro, we talked about him. Fam, the guy from high school. Go ahead. This man's crazy. This man's crazy.
I have no idea what's going on right now. Anyways, Matt, a.k.a. Shu Hefner, tried to big time me in the past. I'm joking, but shout out him. Bruh. It's like it's an outlet store. It's not, I mean, yes, it's nice to get the percentage off. I expected, maybe I should have done like a segue, like, okay, now the Nike trash talk starts. I expected like something, I guess, because I read a lot about it before I went, and they say make sure you line up in the morning, da-da-da.
That's our fault. That's your fault, though.
No.
No, it is. It's our fault.
No, it's not.
We just don't know.
What?
Like,
But that's not my fault, because I don't know.
not our fault. It's just our expectations are so different. Like, you always want to get there, and you having the opportunity to get there.
See, my views are based on growing up in the 90s, wearing shoes and hearing about the company store, or at that point it was the employee store, just being like a warehouse where you
Okay.
can just go in there and
yeah.
it's like warehouse of fun.
That's
and
right.
you just grab whatever you want.
Yeah, when I lived in Oregon, that's my friend's mom went to Nike. That's how we got all our Deons
Yeah,
for free. All
and
that.
it was a warehouse, correct?
I never went.
Oh,
so, but
all right.
we just assumption like
But see, now the way the store is designed is like an outlet store. And I'm not saying that's why it's bad.
Right.
There's still plenty of stuff you can go in there and get the discount on and be a happy person. What I was looking for, obviously, was like some
Galaxy
stuff
phones.
that, some stuff that may not have sold out yet in other stores. But that's why I say, like, people say get there at 9 a.m. I think really the only time the employee store matters is on release days because they have releases for everything, number one. Everything. Now, I don't know if that means off-whites and Sakai's and stuff like that, but Jordans and whatever else. Maybe they do Sakai's and off-whites. People can correct me who've been there before. But there's literally a sign before you walk in the front door that says, start the lineup here and go down this sidewalk.
Oh, really?
They have crazy lines whenever a shoe releases.
I've
And,
seen
you
it.
know, because the employees get stuff 50% off, and then in Oregon, there's no sales tax, which you
Right.
know that. So a shoe that's $200, when you're done paying for tax, and I'm assuming Nike employees flip stuff. I don't know why they wouldn't if it's a super hype shoe. But when you can get something for $100 that someone else is paying $220 after tax for, it makes a big difference. That's an extra $120 of profit when you go to flip it, assuming people are flipping. So they had the Jordan 3 Knicks that just came out. They had that Jordan 1 where the swoosh looks like it's been
Stitched.
like unstitched or whatever. Yeah. But they had no small sizes in that. The biggest size was like a 10.5. And then in the 3s, they had like a 7, 1 8.5. The box was destroyed. 1 9.5. And then the rest was like 10 through 14 or something. So clearly, either employees or customers or whatever are going and picking through it when it first comes out. You had texted me like, what about clothes? Bro, they had no Stranger Things pack. They had hats. That's it. Both colors, but that's it. Or maybe, I don't know, how many colors were the hats? Green and blue?
3, maybe.
Okay, so they had green and blue that I saw. They had no collaborations of anything. They did have like the most recent, those Joyride runners.
Right.
They had React 270s. None of the Nike by You ones, obviously, but React 270s. Whatever the most recent runners that have come out, they had all those. They had some Nike sportswear stuff, but nothing that anyone cared about. They had that one Air Max 1 like inside out. But let me tell you, that joint is trash.
Wait, which one?
The inside out with the materials like on the outside or whatever, like
But which one you said they had?
Air Max 1.
Oh, Air Max 1. There's an Air Max 1 inside out? Wait, oh, inside out.
Have you been in a cave?
I thought you meant upside down. In Stranger Things, it's called the upside down.
Yes, pineapple upside down cake.
No, I thought you were, go ahead.
Bro, what are you talking about?
No, go ahead.
Those are one of the worst shoes I've ever seen in my entire life. Literally what the employee store is good for is the stuff that never goes on sale. Like they had Converse Chuck Taylors. Those rarely ever go on sale unless you get like a, maybe you go to a Converse outlet or you get a coupon code somewhere, whatever. Right. Air Force One, triple white, all whites. They had those, kid sizes, men's sizes, whatever. Obviously, those rarely go on sale. So it's good for stuff like that. Don't go there expecting it. Like the only thing I saw that was like a collab was they had both Raid colorways, the Fear God Raids, but they were like picked over and I didn't even look what sizes they had. But they had that and that was it.
I would have took a black one.
Oh, what?
I would have took a black one.
Oh, right. Yes, I texted you, did you want the shoe that you actually want? You said no. Now I get that it was a size 10.
Big.
You're not finding that anywhere else for that price and no tax. I'm just saying, like it was
You're
84,
right.
no tax.
That was like
Nike, step the employee store game up, all right?
and this is the thing, like when you told me you was going, but I started screenshotting stuff like, damn, I screenshot. I was like, I went on the Nike site thinking like, oh, it gotta be loaded. Like I screenshotted so much. I'm gonna send George all these pictures and I want all these. All right.
We specifically went there just because Hannah wanted the Bauhaus React 270, which is the first men's colorway. They had none.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Sold out. All they had was kids and the biggest kid size. You thought you were about to fall to the floor. Thought you were going to hell.
Yes.
The biggest kid size they had was a 5. I was like, bro, these are sitting on Nike website. I get it at the employee store, they're half price or whatever, and no tax, but bruh.
I just imagine like walking in and it was just glorious. And like, maybe you went to like the B grade store.
No.
You went to the
That's what it is.
You gotta pass to the B grade store. I just imagine walking in and like, I thought like all the Stranger Things was gonna be there. I thought like the sweats. I screenshotted so much stuff.
I think stuff that sits on the website sells out there because seriously, people resell it. I'm dead serious. If you buy it 50% off or 40% off, I mean, even if you're only making 20 per item, if you can go in there and spend $2,000 and turn it into $4,000 or whatever.
I was like, man, I don't know how George will get all these sneakers back, man. All that stuff I screenshotted.
I read online that you can go in there and they'll ship it for you.
I was like, they gotta ship it. I knew they probably. I was like, they have to.
Yeah, but see,
it's one of them things.
The reality was not the impression based on growing up and hearing these, not ghost stories, but hype stories or whatever you want to call it.
Campfires.
But yeah, I mean, and someone confirmed for me that it did used to be like warehouse style, where you just go in there and stuff is like on, like they just bring the pallet out, put the pallet on the thing, and you just got whatever you want.
Sound like our outlets are pretty good.
Now that was also in the days before like a lot of reselling stuff happened.
Right.
This is the 90s, but And I knew the employee store was now new and looked like an outlet, so I knew that was what it was because I had seen pictures online. But I expected better stuff to be in there. I mean, come on, man. If stuff is not selling out of the employee store, just send it straight to the outlet, B. I mean, let's be honest here.
I mean, I'll tell you, I think other people were like, why is this cat standing there with one bag? Like, because it did look a little wild. It was like,
oh, you mean outside?
Yeah, it was like.
Oh, Hannah still spent a bazillion dollars inside there, but she did probably what people should do when they go there. You buy all that Nike sportswear or like what the Nike workout clothes, like spandex pants for women and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Like Nike,
stuff.
So that's probably the stuff you should buy at the Nike employee store because it's all 50 or 40% off, as opposed to maybe if you get it on Nike during a clearance sale, you get a 20% off or something. Like you're not finding that stuff nowhere for half price. So she probably did what people should do when they go in there. And like I said, you should also, if you're looking for Converse, buy the Converse or buy the Air Max 1 triple white, stuff like that doesn't go on sale places. But yeah, it was, and again, like I said, I'm not trying to badmouth nobody who helped me get in there because Hugh Hefner helped me.
Oh, yeah, never.
And then
of course,
someone at Nike helped him help me. So it was dope.
Of course.
But Nike corporate,
right.
Y'all got to step y'all game up for the employee store family.
Yeah, shout out to them. No. We definitely would never, any opportunity and stuff like that to see something that we've never done before. Like, we appreciate it, but we do still have a podcast here to do, and people want to hear about it. Like, people want to know
I'm
what
not
it's
gonna
about.
come in here. People already know I don't blow sunshine up nobody's booty hole paws. So the last thing I'm gonna do is come in here and sugarcoat anything.
Sunshine in a booty hole is crazy.
To me, well, you would blow sunshine up the ass is the statement, but you know what I mean.
I know, but it just sounds crazy, like a laser.
I'm gonna come in here and be honest, and it underwhelming through the lowest amount of underwhelming ever, but. To me, it was like literally just check the bucket list thing off. Like, of course. Been to the Nike employee store.
Dude, I would have been like just walking up to. I would have been so nervous. I would have made Rocio cover my eyes like this. Right. 1, 2, 3. They would have saw like two Knicks.
If they would have just had
always.
no joke. If they would have just had the Bauhaus React 270 for Hannah, I would have been happy because I didn't go there buying nothing for myself.
Right.
And ironically enough, I bought. I wanted to get a React 270, so I bought one. I just got the black pair.
Oh, you got a pair?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't even say it on the show.
We didn't do pickups.
I mean, we're talking about a React 270 the entire time. You say I just grabbed one. Man, what?
Saving it for if we did pickups after the segment.
I mean, look,
What are you talking
man,
about?
pickups ain't like sacred, man. Like you could have said, like,
It's
I grabbed one.
sacred for the listeners.
Okay, I could have said, like,
It's pretty sacred.
right,
People yell at us for not doing sneaker topics.
yeah, facts. Are we doing? Okay, we got to read these.
Yes.
Are we doing NFL picks too?
Yeah.
Okay, Pomania is here.
All right.
Whatever they're called.
We were in here with Skate way later than this.
All right, we're gonna do NFL picks. Should we do picks now or after, or do this one first?
Let's do picks first.
Let's do picks. I was trashed last week. I
beat you by one game, but we got washed by the league.
We got washed. We did. Like,
which is embarrassing.
I don't even know what's happening in the football season. It's like I don't know if I like it or what. I mean, I love football, but it's so weird. Like, it. I think I'm just.
This football season is trash. This is the most quarterback injuries bruh.
It's only week 3.
There's already 20-point spreads in week 3 in 2 games.
I was like, what is happening?
I think I saw. All right, now someone can correct me on this because I don't feel like looking it up. I saw it the other day. I'm pretty sure there was only 7 instances since 1993 of 20-plus point spreads, and there's already been going to be the 3rd of this season already this week.
And which one is that? Jacksonville? I mean,
Cowboys are favored by
Cowboys.
21, or they opened at 16 and went to 21.
Went to 21.
So, and then the Patriots.
Patriots, Jets. Titans, Jaguars.
Jets have lost 2 quarterbacks.
Bruh.
Maybe not for the season, but for a long time.
Let me tell you what's weird is like they had Simeon, they had him mic'd up, and he was like, "Let's go, let's get ready," and then he was on the sideline like, "Let's do this."
Bruh, the thing they did with Sam Darnold where he's pointing at the thing and it says out. I think I sent it to you.
I saw
Out
it, yeah, you said that.
mononucleosis, and he was like this. What in the world?
I was like, yo, that's dirty too, though. And I don't know why they can't just say he's injured. They love saying he got mono during the entire game.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
he's out. I was like, I'm saying, like, yo, fam, why do you gotta just say he's out? They just kept saying mono. And what's up with your boy Jalen Ramsey? I hate his gusto. I don't like him anymore. Though. I don't like Jalen Ramsey. Though.
You said a long time ago you didn't like him when you heard him do that interview.
You're right. But see, here's the thing. And we said this the other week. I think cornerback is the absolute hardest position. Besides quarterback, I get that. It might be the most hardest position to play in sports, in football. It's a total confidence thing. You get burnt one time, you're done. Like, you're going to get burnt the entire game. Like, you're just done. You're cooked. You get one interception, you ride mad high. Like,
I think that's only if you play for the Raiders.
Man, that's for every single
They
team.
had a lot of free safety issues in one quarter. They shut the.
Yeah, but they've had a lot of that for a while.
They're
now.
the first team since Mahomes has been in the league to shut Mahomes out in any quarter, period, or first quarter. And
ever.
then shut him out in half. Except that one quarter in the middle, boy. He let somebody throw for 300 yards in
4
one
touchdowns
quarter.
in the second quarter. Anyways, Titans Jaguars.
Titans win.
Titans win. Dolphins Cowboys at Cowboys.
Oh, come on, Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Dolphins cover. I'm taking the dog there again. And on my
it's a good game.
And on my against the spread picks, just so we're clear, so I don't come in here trying to talk a big game. Went 7-9 last week, so 8-8 straight up, 7-9 against the spread.
What I go 6-9? I was like 6-9.
I don't know if I can't confirm that it was.
I think Blanc had.
I can't confirm it was 7-9 on the ones I said on this show, but on the pick'em that I do, it was 7-9.
I thought you were talking about the show. You did better than me. You did better than me in pick'em.
Well, I'm assuming. Okay, no, but I'm not talking about straight up. So straight up, I probably put the same ones that we picked on the tapes game. But
shout out to High Tapes.
But in the pick'em that I do, I can't guarantee because it's spreads, so I can't guarantee I picked the same ones here. But I went 7-9 either way. That's trash. You can survive for a couple weeks doing that. At least it's not like I went 2-14, but.
Fam.
You got to have some winning weeks in there.
Until I got so washed in fantasy.
Or my boogie is going to take all my money.
I got so washed in fantasy. I thought I was like being smart. I put Cam Newton over Dak. I was like, yo, Cam Newton. And that was mainly your fault. Panthers at home 2 weeks in a row against the Buccaneers. I was like, ooh, Drew might be on something. Put Cam Newton
at the 1 yard line.
What did I got to do with anything?
Oh, you talking about fantasy? I think you're talking about picking the win.
Yeah, no, fantasy. I put Cam in and that was you. Yo, Panthers at home 2 games. Ain't no way. Cam coming back.
Well, I played him too, so it's not like you're the only one who got the.
I got 11 points.
I went 0-6.
Oh, wait, what?
I lost 2 games by less than a point. I'm in 6 fantasy leagues because I took one over for Hannah, and I took Hannah's family league over, and then another one that I don't want to be in anymore. I agreed to do it 1 more year, so 4 is my limit. For some reason, I'm in 6. I went 0-6.
I'm in 1 this year. I'm usually in about 6. Going 0-6 on one weekend, that's trash. You have a talk with yourself.
I tell you.
Bengals, Bills. I got Bills.
Bills.
Lions at Eagles. Eagles.
Oh, yeah, Eagles.
Jets at Patriots. Patriots. It's almost funny. Falcons at Colts. I think this is Colts' first home game.
I'm going to go with the Colts.
I'm going to go Colts. Raiders at Vikings.
I think the Raiders cover.
I'm going to go Vikings.
Listen, if I'm betting with money, I'm betting. I would never bet the Vikings money line because there's no value there. But if I was going to bet a money line, I would say the Vikings. But I think I'm going to pick the Raiders just because. Why not?
I like that. So you should.
Raiders +8. Raiders cover and win outright.
I'm going Vikings.
On this show, at least.
I mean, the Vikings played pretty tough. I mean, they got beat in Lambeau, but they played pretty tough in Lambeau. And Cook is running all over the place.
He is. But the one thing the Raiders are doing is shutting the run down. I don't know if anyone noticed that against KC.
I definitely noticed it because
1.5 yards a carry.
Freaking LaShawn McCoy looked like he didn't know what he was doing out there. He was bouncing all over the place.
Well, and he's hurt this week again. And Vikings quarterback, man, is trash can because I got him in fantasy too.
Yeah, he is trash. Oh, they had a good run this weekend. Ravens at Chiefs. That's a good game.
Mm-hmm. Ravens cover, Chiefs win.
I think Chiefs win it at home. Broncos at Packers.
Packers.
Panthers at Cardinals. I got Cardinals.
I think Cardinals win.
Cardinals win that one. Giants at Buccaneers. I got Giants. Buccaneers played tough this last past Thursday, but Giants Daniels coming in. I think they're going to be high off adrenaline. They might do pretty good.
The Bucs defense might score as many points as the Patriots defense did last week. Bruh, I heard the Patriots defense scored 71 points in this dude's fantasy league that I know.
That's not even. Wait a minute. In 2 games.
71. Now I don't know their point structure.
That's not even.
They had 2 pick sixes.
Okay. Then their point structure is crazy.
They had 71 points as a defense.
He must get like 1,000 for like a Tom Brady touchdown or something. Their stuff is crazy. I was in a league like that one time where like I'd finish with like 630 points, and I'm like, what? How did you do this? Saints at Seahawks.
Seahawks. Saints quarterbacks are trash.
We don't really know if Bridgewater's trash. Like, we don't know yet.
I mean, with a week of preparation, I'm sure he looks better than he did last week, but he looked like a trash can.
They said at practice he gets almost no reps.
Somebody going to sign Kaepernick, or you're just going to keep hiring these cats that got no business?
If there is any time to give Kaepernick a call, what is a better time? Like, it's like, okay, I said to myself when Simeon went out, I said, you know what? The Jets might be like, you know what? Forget enough. Like, maybe even New Orleans. I thought New Orleans is like pretty progressive.
I think we're kind of past the like he's gonna kneel stage. Not saying that he's not gonna be an activist anymore. I just don't.
Yeah, but now I think it might be in his contract that he can't seek, and if it has to be something like.
I don't think any NFL team cares if people do it off the field. I think their literal problem is they're doing it like during the game on TV or whatever. I think that's the thing.
When you're in the situation like the Saints, I think you have to sign them. Like, I'm sorry.
It's not only the Saints, the Jets, whoever.
Yeah, but see, the Jets, we don't have extreme expectations for them. It's like the Saints, you got to at least stay. The Saints, you got to stay in playoff contention until Breeze comes back. That's all you need to do.
Look at who's Pittsburgh. Look at who's starting around the league.
I mean, I don't think Pittsburgh quarterback is going to be bad. He's a rookie. I think he'll be good in the future. I think he'll be all right.
He ain't a rookie.
Now, Roethlisberger throwing the ball and not being hit, an elbow. What did they say? Any Tommy John surgery?
Probably. When I was watching the game, I saw him going like this, and then he went like that. I was like, oh, yeah, he needs Tommy John. And I started him, which is why I lost the majority of the games I was in. He scored 3 points.
I dropped him. Texans at Chargers. I got Chargers. Steelers at Niners. Niners.
Steelers cover, though.
Niners are really good.
Public's going to load up on the Niners because of what the Niners have done this year, and Pittsburgh's got a backup. Touchdown is a lot.
Rams at Browns.
I think the Rams win. They're a better team. Browns, I would take the Browns 3 points, but I think the Rams win.
Even though the Browns won against the Jets, it didn't move me. Like, I wasn't like, okay.
Because it just suck.
No, it wasn't even because of that. Like, it didn't look like a good win to me. It just kind of looked like.
I mean, it was like
I think it's what it is.
24-7 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just looked like the Jets suck. Like, I didn't think like, wow, the Browns are good. It looked weird. Bears. That's the Monday night game. God, I hate these whack. Bears at Redskins. Why?
Because the Bears have an awful quarterback. They're averaging more yards per carry than they are per passing attempt. That is a crazy statistic.
I need Redskins to lose, so I'm gonna go Bears. I hope Bears win. I gotta remember these picks because I want to win this week. I'm sick and tired of being a loser in that. Like, I gotta be. I think I might hands down be the worst NFL team game pick of all time. Like, I was real confident in my picks. Like, I was like, these cats ain't touching me. It's trash. Literally watching them. I picked Raiders over Chiefs. I really thought the Raiders were gonna, and they did good. They really started out. They just couldn't maintain it.
They didn't.
Okay.
They started well. They didn't do well.
If you shut Mahomes out in the first quarter, you did really well.
Tate said his wife was the only one who picked Tampa Bay. I hope she won it last week.
Probably didn't. That might be her only right pick.
No, last week.
Yeah. That might have been her only right pick.
Well. Let's not go that far.
Wives always win stuff like that on accident. That's why I hate when like stuff like that happens. I lost the fantasy to the little boy at work. Like, y'all don't even know who that is. If y'all know who it was, it'd be funny to y'all.
Little boy might know more football than you.
There's a possibility though. Anything else, George? We appreciate Kristen Black coming on. She's up and coming. Right now, she is right there on that climb. We talked to her first. Let me tell you something, George. We talked to her first. I guarantee she's end up on other shows. You'll see her on a full-size run all of a sudden. They talk to everybody because someone told me that full-size run is trying to contact Skate and is trying to get Skate. I was like, yeah, I bet they are. Stupid mustache and tacky. Anyways, anything else, George?
Full size run can fly off a mountain.
Did you get any pickups for the 270? We can say that real quick.
No, Hannah got a. What's the Air Force One that looks like a creeper or whatever? The women's Air Force One that looks like a creeper, like the thicker sole.
Oh, what'd she do that for?
What are you talking about?
She wears Air Force Ones?
She likes the like creeper style of shoe.
Should have got the Rihanna joints.
All right, whatever. She didn't want a Puma. Okay, we didn't go to the Puma store. We went to the Nike store. And then she just got a bunch of workout clothes or whatever. Spent all her money, all my money.
Trash. It's our money.
Bruh.
Our money. Not hers, not yours.
Like,
our money.
I mean, even at when you get in the discount you're getting, that stuff adds up.
Of course it did.
I'm thinking a thing like, oh, the discount hasn't come off yet. We got to the final amount. I was like, what?
It was funny because I told Rosie, I was like, man, somebody hooked George up with a pass, man. That's crazy.
I just threw the box away. I didn't even bring it home.
Oh, yeah, I would. And Rosie was like, and I was like, man, please hope Rosie will say, like, yo, make sure George get you some. And she was like, oh, cool. Yeah, tell George get some. I'm like, but I was just gonna let you go wild. And I was like, oh, just get all this stuff.
No, my plan. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say this, but all right. I won't say the plan.
All right, that's it. Let's think this. I know what your plan was.